So just I suppose to start off, could you just introduce yourself to the people who will be listening?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Brooklyn Dillon, a singer-songwriter from Chicago, and I'm 17 years old.
Amazing. Um, I was interested in talking to you about what influences got you into music and currently who would your influences be?
Honestly, I have a music taste that is really all over the place. Like, I
Mm.
listen to things like Frank Sinatra to rap, pop, hip hop, old stuff, new stuff. Like, I listen to everything. I think that it really depends on what mood I'm in and what I really want to feel because music has such a big influence on the things that you feel in your mood. But I think growing up, I was the type of girl that was always like singing into my hairbrush, looking in my mirrors, like singing some Megan Trainor and different kinds of things like that. But I think musically now, sound wise, and the route that I'm taking 2026 with these new songs and music, I'm definitely leaning into a more like Paramore, pop rock, Olivia Rodrigo kind of vibe. I really love those big vocal artists like Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson, who can really just belt out and sing like that, like makes my soul feel so good and happy when there's someone who's just like, wow, that is insane, the talent that they have and what they can do just with their voice.
Yeah.
And I would say lyrically, people like Megan Maroney, Sabrina Carpenter, who have those clever little like girly twists to them, but then also things like Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo, where it's a lot of metaphorical things that you kind of can think deeper and like say a line, but it means two different things, or it means more than just surface level of what they're saying.
No, that's really true. Do you like Kacey Musgraves by any chance? Have you ever listened to her?
I think I know a few of her songs. I definitely listen to country as well, but I feel like I'm not as big into it. But I will say I love Chris Stapleton. He's like one of my favorite artists. I went to his concert last summer, and that's when I really fell in love with him because of the fact that I just love those big vocal artists that I was like, oh my God, I will sit on this lawn all day and listen to this man sing. It was just incredible, his voice.
And I love with country artists, like a voice that kind of breaks in all the right places. It's kind
Yes.
of like raspy. I love a voice that
Yeah.
is like that. Kacey Musgraves, her album Deeper Well, I think is one of my favorite albums ever. I think it's kind of folk pop with country. And I think some
Yeah.
of it was filmed in Ireland because there's like sort of a
Oh,
jade
awesome.
green, moss green theme in the visuals, but it somehow works its way into when you listen to the music, you can almost feel the visuals are in the music, if that makes sense. She's so
Yeah, that's an
talented.
insane skill to have to
She
be
is
able to do that and really
so
make you
talented
picture
and
it
she's a
like
very
that.
good performer as well.
Yeah.
I was listening to Bad Blood as well. Did you like Avril Lavigne growing up
I
by any
love
chance?
some Avril. She
Yeah.
is just so inspirational in the rock genre lane. I feel like there's
Mhm.
not a lot of women artists who've really broken into that rock side of the industry in that genre. So I feel like the people and women who do and are in that, like Avril and Paramore and Olivia, really starting to get in there is definitely like really great to see.
Absolutely. Did you like Hayley Williams' new solo singles that she released, I think last year?
I don't know if I've heard them. I feel like I probably would have heard them on clips on TikTok, but I know that her voice is just absolutely insane. I'm sure that I've heard them somewhere.
Yeah, she's great. Um, I was listening to an interview you did with, I think, The Buzz, and you mentioned that you liked music from musicals. Was there any specific musical
Yeah.
soundtrack that you just made you feel alive?
Well, I mean, this is kind of a basic answer, but I think the first musical that I ever saw on Broadway in New York, I was in Fashion Week and me and my mom were like, we have to go see a musical. We're in New York.
Mhm.
So we went to Broadway and we saw Wicked for the first time. And I'm not a crier, but like right before intermission, that like big song hit and I already knew some of the music and I just like cried. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like it just really like invokes all that emotion and makes you feel so many different things. I recently went and saw I'm forgetting the name of it, but it was a Sarah Bareilles kind of inspired song and music, Waitress.
Mhm.
That's what I saw. And Mean Girls has some really fun music as well. There's great music and so many musicals. And I think that it's a little bit more niche compared to the genre of people like, oh, it's musicals. And then it's like, I wish that everyone would just sit down and watch one and be open-minded because
I know.
it's such a crazy experience and
Yeah.
the music is so good.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually funny you mentioned Wicked because I went to Chicago as a child and we actually went to see Wicked on Broadway in Chicago. And
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like a child from rural Ireland. I had never seen the likes of this. I was like, oh my God, is everyone seeing this? Immediately bought the soundtrack, Defying Gravity, um, Dancing Through Life are two of my favorite songs ever.
Defying Gravity gets me every time. I'm like, yes.
Did you like the movie?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
Um, I think the way that they ended that first, has the second movie come out yet?
It has. I think it hasn't gone to streaming yet, but it's out, I think, as far as I know.
I need to go see it because I saw the first one and I never got to set a chance to go see the second one. And I almost feel like I need to rewatch the first one. But I
Mm.
think that Ariana Grande really killed that role. And it was really cool to see everything come together and just all of like the graphics and like the town that they made was absolutely insane. And I love that they brought back Idina Menzel and all the old cast too to like play in it. And I was like, yes, they needed
Yeah.
to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cynthia Erivo is again her voice.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think I know anyone who can do what she does. She's just spectacular.
And she
She's
made it
great.
her own too to make it
Yeah,
her own like iconic role in that whole franchise, which is amazing.
absolutely. I saw online as well that you would have been in pageants and everything when you were younger. How has that influenced you as an artist?
Well, I think growing up and doing things like interviews and meeting girls from around my country is basically you would go in these rooms and everyone is a representative of their state and you kind of learn how to network and give these interviews and be up on stage. And I think talent was always one of my favorite parts of that
Yeah.
competition. And getting dressed up and fancy and getting your hair and makeup done and of course, there's different like silly stories and things that you get from the pageantry and everything as well. But I think that it taught me so many things and really set me up for the music industry and getting into that side of music,
Yeah.
along with just a love for singing.
Yeah. And singing would have been your talent portion for the pageants, would it have been? Yeah.
Yes. And then I would take my little guitar up there. I was started when I was 8, and then I always look back and I was like, "Oh, this is so cute," because I would like get up there with my little guitar
Oh,
and be like, "Just the way you are," Bruno Mars.
oh, that's so
Like,
sweet.
yes, it was so cute. But I think I learned so much from that, and
Hmm.
definitely set me up really well going into this industry.
Hmm. Oh, absolutely. Have you ever seen the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous by any chance?
No, but I'm already intrigued by the title. It makes me want to go see it.
It's essentially, well, it came out in like 1999. It is a, so it's like a horror comedy movie about a beauty pageant in
Oh
Minnesota
my
that
gosh.
descends into chaos. Kristen Dunst is in it and Denise Richards. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh my gosh. I'll have to go watch it.
It's brilliant.
I
It is
remember
mad, just a heads up.
I watched I'm forgetting the name of the movie, but it's with Sandra Bullock, I'm pretty sure. And she's like an undercover cop that goes in and has to play in the beauty pageant. And it's one of my favorite movies ever. I think it's so funny,
Miss
but also kind of
Congeniality.
like lets you in on like the world of these things, kind of. And I just love that movie so much. It's great.
Miss Congeniality, yeah, that was one of my
Yes, yes, yes.
top three movies. Actually, yeah, it's brilliant. And are the characters in it, are they good representatives of what, say, you would have experienced in your time in pageants?
I would say it's an exaggerated version because there
Yeah.
is some people who are kind of like that, and there is like dieting and getting in your best shape. But I think that the misconception with what pageants actually are is that these women are like businesswomen, but also like the kindest people you'll ever meet, where you'll go up to
Mm.
them and it's like people that are volunteering in their communities, but they're also like getting in shape just like anyone would for like if you're gonna run a mile. They're like, this is what I've been training for my whole life. If they're
Yeah.
competing at Miss USA or Miss America, they're like, this is the moment that I've been waiting for to compete in this competition. I'm gonna look amazing and practice and do all of the things. And I think it's just very well-rounded,
Mhm.
educated women who are working towards their goals. And I think that that movie makes it a little sillier, but it's also really enjoyable to
Yeah.
watch.
That's good to know actually, because I didn't know that. I don't think they're a thing in Ireland. I think there's just not enough people.
Yeah. I feel
Um,
like it like portrays them to be a little like ditzier and like goofy
yeah.
than they actually are, whereas like normally they're like very professional and kind and well-rounded and like all the things and more down to earth and a little bit more serious, but can also be goofy. But in the movie, it's like world peace and world peace,
Yeah.
like they just like don't know
Yeah.
what they're talking
Yeah.
about, which obviously everybody wants, but it was just a really good movie anyways. And I think even as a pageant girl, I can sit down and watch that and be like, I love this movie. This is
Yeah.
awesome. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's brilliant. I also saw as well that you worked with Josh Monroy.
Yes.
For those who don't know, he worked on Justin Bieber's hit Baby. How did that come about?
So that was actually through a pageant, which was one of the amazing things that I've experienced through that as well, was
Mhm.
there was, which is so random and crazy, just how the world works and timing and just the plan of life and
Yeah.
everything. But there was an area of a competition where it was separate, but it's called an optional competition. So like the main categories in pageantry, you're working towards a title. So normally you'll have like interviews and a gown walk on stage, maybe an on stage question, like things like that. But then there's also categories that don't count towards your score or winning that main title that you're there for at all. And you
Okay.
can enter in those. And so this was called Music Artist of the Year. And if you enter in this competition, you go and you would sing in front of Josh and get chosen to go record your first EP kind of, and they would fly you down to Atlanta and get
That's really
to go
cool.
in the studio and everything. Yeah. So I was like, I want to go to that one and see. And I was so nervous but also prepared, but it was just one of those things where like I really wanted to so bad. And getting to meet Josh, he was so cool,
Mhm.
and I ended up winning and getting down there and going to record, and that kind of just beelined that path of becoming an artist and writing my own songs and music and things like that.
That's really cool. And did you find, say, when you were working with Josh, that like how did the process work? Did you have, say, demos done first and then you brought those to him and you developed them there, or did you sort of develop the song ideas from scratch together?
So basically, with my first batch of sounds, it's kind of gotten a little bit different as I've continued to work with him and really came into myself as an artist and a writer. But he would say, know what you want your song to sound like, know what
Hmm.
vibe you want it to be, instrumentally, how you want it to sound. Bring me maybe examples of different things that you want this sound to sound like and embody. And then you want to bring what you want your song to be, what do you want it to be about, all of those
Hmm.
things. So you kind of just base out like, okay, this is like the direction I see this song going. This is what I want to write. This is what I want to create. And from there, we were able to work with different writers and be like, no, this is like, and he actually kind of taught me how to write in different things and like pull that out of me and begin to start writing that together and introduce me to different writers where we could start writing songs together. And now I think my favorite thing to do as a writer is to completely get on my guitar or get on the piano and write the song myself and then bring that to Josh and writers and be like, this is the idea I have. This is a song that I wrote. And I really want to turn this into something that is going to be amazing. And then we'll get down and we'll tweak it and we'll try to make it the best that it possibly can be.
Absolutely. And that's interesting as well because that's actually advice I got before was to go to the piano and just sort of fully flesh out the song because that way
Mhm.
when you do that you can be like, oh wait, this part isn't actually working. Because you know when you
Yeah.
put the whole thing together you can actually get a more cohesive idea of what needs work or whether,
Mhm.
whereas when it's just fully abstract you can't really iron out those sort of details and it's easier for yourself in a way because
Yeah.
you kind of know what you want. Um, that must have been a really cool experience. And then
Mhm.
say the covers you record for social media, do you record those, you record those vocals yourself at home in your, do you have like your own home studio?
Most of the covers that I've done are normally just like off my iPhone in a random whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm trying. I got Logic, finally got this recording equipment, so I'm trying to like work my way up a little bit
Mm,
in like this whole trying to just lay down a
mm.
track of like let me sing this cover really quick and then upload it. So Logic, it's just been a frustrating process, but at the same time, I think I'm getting into it a little bit more where I'm like, okay, now there's not a problem every time I log on to this and I can kind of get more into, okay, I can do this without wanting to lose my mind. Let's try and do this a few times.
Yeah, that's the hardest part is getting over the fury of trying to use a
Yes.
new software. And you're like, why is this going wrong? I don't
I'm
know.
like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I guess I'm gonna try.
And yeah, like everyone kind of just figures that out for themselves. And like you have a very good ear for vocal arrangement and things like that. So you'll be grand. You're very talented. So as well, in a studio setting, do you go to the studio in Chicago or do you go to a studio in like another part of America?
So where Josh is based, he has a home studio in Atlanta.
Oh,
So I'll
cool.
fly from Chicago to Atlanta, which isn't really bad or that far. It's not really a neighboring state, but it's also not like across like super far.
Mm.
But I think it's cool being able to be down there and see how it works. I mean, the first time that I went into the studio with Josh, I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be easy. I was like, I've seen videos of like Ariana Grande, like da 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 in the studio, and how hard can it be? It's just, you just sing into the microphone and whatever. And I think it's just so different, and there's so much more to it, which is everything in this industry, is there's just
Yeah.
so much more to it. And
Mhm.
like behind the scenes, and just being in that studio, and it's like, okay, we're gonna sing this through. Normally we'll do like sing it through two times all the way, just like kind of get it down. You're in the studio. You have to like listening to yourself just with headphones on, trying to hear like the music coming through your ear. And I like to sing as much as I can with the headphones off and still being able to hear the music and myself, because I just like hearing myself in the room. I just feel like I can actually hear like what I'm doing versus like having to train your ear to do that, like where the sound is half in the headphone and out in the room, and just trying to make that sound as best as possible,
Mhm.
as well as doing harmonies and doing layers and having to sing at the exact same time as you sung it before, and you can't
Mm.
be off. You have to sing it exact, and it's just a brain workout when you're in there of like
Absolutely.
so many different levels.
Absolutely. It's so many different things. And vocal coach I know said something that was really true. And she was saying that the voice is one of the most difficult instruments because you can't see it. It's just, and if something's going amiss, you're like, I don't know what it is that's not going right. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of huge amounts of time.
Yeah, I love
But
that. It's definitely a brain exercise of like, okay, wait, I have to do this.
absolutely.
And it's like, okay, sing through your nose, sing up here, sing back here. And it's like things that you can't like place or feel. And it's definitely challenging, but it's like you have to like imagine it in your mind and then
Yeah.
try to do it and work on it every single day.
Do you do like, are there any specific vocal warm-ups that you do before going into the studio or just before recording your covers?
Honestly, I feel like I probably should get some better ones. I have met an amazing vocal coach that I feel like I should be recording some more of the sessions and like warm ups and things I do with him.
Mhm.
But before, there's like literally a YouTube thing that's like 5 minute vocal warm up of
I
like a quick whatever.
did that today. Yeah.
Every single time
Yeah.
I just click YouTube and it's like,
Yeah.
we are starting with the hum, you know? I
Yeah.
don't know if it's that one or not, but that's like, I'll literally click that on and then I'll just run through some different like warm ups. Even if I do the same track twice and like rewind it and like do that scale again with like a different thing, like I'll do some buzzes and then head voice, chest voice, try to do some mixed voice, and
Mhm.
then try to hop in pretty quickly to what I'm doing.
Is there any artist that you'd love to open for at some point in your career?
I mean, dream would be Olivia Rodrigo's got that brand new album coming out, but I know everybody probably wants
Yeah.
the opening slot. But I mean, that would be insane. I cannot wait for this new album. Like, she is so incredible. I'm like, yes, I need to hear more of what she has to say.
Yeah, she's incredible. I really like her music. She's great. Then if you had to pick three songs that changed it all for you, what would those be?
Oh my gosh. I honestly have no idea if I even could, because my music is like so all over the place. Like it could
Hmm.
be a musical song or it could honestly be a rap song. Because me and my dad, we would be in the car when I was little, and he would really try to explain all the lyrics to me and how a rap song can be very poetic and very metaphorical in the way of like what they're saying in their lyrics. And it could sound so simple, but really have a meaning that you would never guess. And it like kind of sounds silly, but it could also be like lingo. And he kind of knew some of that. So he would always try and like enlighten me to be like, they're not just saying this, this is what they actually mean. And so I think those kind of songs that really had a deeper meaning behind what they were saying kind of opened my eyes to be like, whoa, this is so cool. You can say so much more behind one simple line can mean three different things.
That's so true. What songs or artists used you listen to in the car?
Everything. Olivia Rodrigo, Paramore, Avril Lavigne would be like my rock. I listen to a lot of like people call it divorced dad music, where it's like rock genre of like Three Doors Down, different kind of things, like old hair bands, rock and roll. Just like I really love music that'll make you feel, and any sort of voice that has that interesting texture like you were talking about when it comes to country artists like
Hmm.
Chris Stapleton, or even recently like Jesse Murph or Sienna Spiro. They have that really cool texture and tone to their voice where it's like people like that could almost make you feel something without even like saying a word, just like the soul behind their voice and like the
Yeah,
tonation that it brings up.
that's very, very true. And then for lyrics, is there any sort of song that you just love the lyrics of, or that say when you're writing your own music, you'll even just read this artist's lyrics just to sort of get inspired or get in the zone?
I'd honestly say Taylor Swift. I
Hmm.
think that a lot of people are like T Swifty haters. Like she obviously has a huge fan base, but I kind of makes me sad that so many people just hate on Taylor Swift, and I just like don't understand the reason. Like it's
Mm.
almost because she's so like good and overhyped or just uniquely I don't even know what it is, but there's just like so many Taylor Swift like haters are like, "Oh, I'm not a Swiftie," just cuz like people like think of Swifties in a certain way, but I think she's just like a lyrical genius in so many ways. And she's able to do things like rap artists do with her metaphors and things. I think Olivia does it in some of her music too.
Hmm.
But I think Taylor just has that on another level of like you were saying earlier, she can really make you feel an image. It's like you're brought into the song when you listen to a Taylor Swift song. Like rain on the concrete, and like you're just like picturing the entire song while it's happening and there's nothing in front of you.
And she pairs that really strong songwriting with just some of the most addictive melodies that I have
Mhm.
ever heard, I think, in pop songwriting, and you just can't get enough of. Like Wildest Dreams, I think is still one of my favorite songs
Yeah, she's
ever.
just like a musical genius in so many ways.
She absolutely is. There's an artist that I discovered, Sibylle Baier, and so she's like a folk artist as far as I know, but I think her album was released after she passed away. And I don't think
Oh, wow.
people knew that she had recorded these songs until after she died. I'm actually just going to check that because I don't want to be spreading
Yeah.
misinformation. So her album Color Green was made at home on a reel to reel tape recorder when she was in her
Wow.
20s. And then her son compiled these into a CD. And I think eventually it was released to a label. But she has a song called William. And there's a line in it that says, William was said to be a bad boy, met him behind the leaf of a door. And the image, the leaf of a door, I don't know why that stuck with me because it's so like Thumbelina, or it's just so
Yeah.
magical. But I
It's like
thought
you
that was
change one word and it changes the whole meaning.
absolutely. And I do think folk and country has some of the best songwriting
Hmm.
ever. It's so visual.
Hmm.
And because I think that is at the end of the day what songwriting is storytelling, right?
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I was younger, I went to Taylor Swift's Eras tour. I was lucky to grab one of those
Wow.
tickets. And I was sitting there watching her. And at that time, I don't know how old I was. Maybe I was like 13. And I was someone that was not very into the folklore album. I wasn't very interested in it. I was like something like you said, I was like Wildest Dreams and like Shake It Off and like all like the catchy pop songs. Like I loved all her albums, but I never really listened to the folklore and wasn't really into that. And I will say now, after like sitting down and listening to all of those songs and really listening to them and like feeling that, that's probably my favorite album that
Yeah.
she's done.
Do you have any upcoming projects you'd like to mention for people to know about?
I would definitely just say a lot more music coming in 2026. Very
Mhm.
excited to get those out. Currently working on the music videos and rollout for my next single that's going to be dropping. And I'm
Nice.
excited to show everyone and get a release date together. So that should be coming soon.
Awesome.
And I feel like the last songs that I have recorded are very all over the place because I like so many different things in music. I was like, okay, where do I really want to go with my artistry? Which
Mhm.
like way do I want to lean? And now I feel like I've kind of grasped that more and I'm excited to be releasing more music because like in my head, I'm like, wait, I have all these songs that I need to release, but
Yeah.
like I know what they are in my head. So I'm like, oh, whatever. I like these are my songs and this is my category, but I feel like I really need to definitely get those out so that the rest of the world can see that as well.
The only way I think you discover your sound is just by doing it. And then
Hmm.
just through doing it constantly, you eventually arrive at something that's specific to your sound. But yeah, you're so talented. Bad Blood is
Thank
brilliant.
you.
And I really liked, I was looking at the cover you did of Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson.
Ah, yes. I love Zara.
Someone did a mashup of her song Euro Summer with Stereo Love. Yeah, it was like a hit from 2009. So someone put Zara Larson's Euro Summer vocals over that. And oh my God, it is so addictive. I cannot
Oh my
stop
gosh.
listening to it. I can't. I'm not joking. I cannot
I
stop.
love I love when stuff happens like that though, where it's like an unexpected whatever, and it's like this is amazing, and this should be a song, and someone please release this to Spotify because I need to listen to it in my car.
Absolutely. I think that's my favorite. One of my favorite genres of music is like people just like meshing two songs together. And I'm like, someone did it with Elizabeth Taylor, the song from Taylor Swift's album Ophelia. They put it over a Backstreet Boy song. Cannot get enough of it as well. It's like, this is going to
That's
destroy my life.
insane. No, those are the best.
Absolutely. So I think I've got everything. It was so lovely to get to talk to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was great to talk to you too. Awesome.